We are here after this Blender meeting. I'm here with Fiona, which is one of the Blenders.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm Fiona, the head of operations, sorry, at Blender and producer for the studio.
Blender has a huge importance in the community, which is very together. I'd like to know the importance. We can meet like in person, and wanted you to talk a little about what we can expect from Blender in the near future.
Okay. So yeah, community is just the heart of Blender, right? That's how the software was built, and that's how it's been along the years. We're only 50 people working, like being paid to work for Blender, so the community is very important to sustain a lot of aspects, um, many different things. So it can be either triaging, but also all the feedback we get, all the bug reports, and of course, just teaching, talking about it. Blender is getting more and more adopted by studios, but it's thanks to the people mostly. Usually, it's not like a strategy, an economical strategy from the bosses. Usually, it actually comes from the teams who want to use the software, and I hope it's because people like the transparency in the way everyone at Blender is reachable, and we can discuss things, right? So community base is really important, and meeting in person. Well, between all the shy developers and the very shy artists also with their arts, I think it's very important that we put faces on names sometimes, and we see who else we could collaborate with, because it might be hard to reach out to people in other countries, even on the internet. But when you meet them in person, suddenly you're like just equals, right? And it's all about bridging the gaps and making connections at Blender. So meeting in Annecy, just like having Blender conferences more and more around the world, that's very important to us so that people connect. And it's also not just on us, right? People do their thing, and then if they want to share it with us, it's amazing.
Cool. There are a lot of other 3G softwares that are most used by his studios,
Yeah.
and you think the pipeline can change over the time, like being adopted from other companies that have other softwares. Have a strategy on that, or just let the community goals and
Well, we do reach out to studios, and especially the big ones, because we know a lot of studios use Blender, if not for full-time production, for pre-production or development. Even with pipelines with other softwares, they often use Blender at some parts for assets, for design, for previs. So, and they might not talk about it or make it official, but it's already there. And yes, then it's more of a habit. Old pipelines are very hard to change, but it's all about the people, right? Of course, if you've been 20 years at a company and you've been maintaining the same thing and building on it, it's very hard to let go and start again. And it's not to say that Blender is better than those other software, it's just a different mindset. Instead of paying licenses, you're going to pay for training and coding. So that's where on the business side, you'll see the difference. And then a human side, well, hopefully people then they actually know who's buying the code, what's coming. Also, like you were asking about what's coming in the future for Blender. Well, more stability and more features. It's both, right? We're working on those aspects with the team we have. So we are hoping to add a couple more developers so they can strengthen, for example, the rendering on the easy parts, because it's very sought after. People really use it. But yeah, it's organically, people just like it and adopt it more. Also because it's so easy to use at home, we remotely, and to share the tools. And of course, students they learn on some softwares. I think the schools are actually the harder to get into for Blender, because we don't go with marketing and a business plan. We don't reach out to them and say, "Hey, you can have our licenses for a smaller price," because we don't. They don't cost anything. So, but then students realize, oh, but when I'm done with my studies, how am I going to work at home? I can't pay those licenses. And that's why often they turn to Blender. And that's how they then push to have it in studios. So, mixing softwares, that's also totally fine. And using what you're used to or what you're strong with, that's also totally fine. We just hope that Blender can show that it also has all of those perks, and that it can do a lot of, it can really add to your workflow, and that you could do everything in Blender and not change softwares. So that people find for themselves that it's great, basically, and then push to have it. adopted everywhere.
Yeah, that's how it's happened to me. Okay, thank you for talking with us.
Well, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And I hope I can watch your movie tonight.
Oh, cool.
I heard about it, so
See you.
thank you.
Bye.